Hello, my name is Becky Allen and I'm one of the Vice Principals here at St Clare's. And today I am joined by Vicky Bullard, who is the Coordinator of Theory of Knowledge and a teacher of English at the college. And she has been working here for the last 42 years and is poised to retire. And I'm taking this opportunity today to ask Vicky some questions about her reflections on her time at St Clare's and her plans for the future. So Vicky, first of all, thank you very much for making the time. Do you want to start off by telling us when you first joined the school and what brought you here?
Well, it was September 1983, and I think an English teacher had left at rather short notice, and they had a gap that needed filling in a hurry. And at that point I was teaching in Italy, but I knew I wanted to come back. So I was teaching English as a second language, but I'd done training in secondary school, and I thought that St Clare's being a sixth form would suit me very well. And I was also attracted to it being an international school because I was something of an international child myself. I was born in Jordan, I lived in Germany and Russia. And I was right, it suited me very well. That's why I stayed all this time.
Fantastic. And in that time, how do you think the school has changed?
Well, I used to teach in this space. This was my classroom. They put in the library, I can remember it was in the 90s or something. And so obviously the physical buildings have changed and improved enormously. It was a bit of a more bohemian in the past. So there was a sense that maybe we shouldn't make the lessons compulsory. Students should come if they wanted to, and they should want to learn. I think we were, in that way, more unusual as a school. We didn't even call ourselves a school. We were a college. People who said school got ticked off. But I think that in essence, it's remained the same. There are a lot of good qualities that have remained. I think there's a sort of humanness in the relationships between people. And we keep the institutional side of things to the minimum. So I think it's changed mostly for the better.
Fabulous. And in terms of the bigger picture, in terms of the world of education and your own professional practice, how has that changed in the time that you've been here? And how has your own approach in the classroom evolved?
Well, some big changes happened with technology. So the internet was a real step change for all of us. And I think what it did was democratize education. And in the classroom, you're not any longer the expert. You have to be a facilitator. I mean, obviously, you're an expert in some ways, but students can always check. And I like students to do that, check something, when was a person born or what did the date, did that happen or something. And it means that you can delegate more in the lessons and let students follow their own curiosity more. And then, of course, all the IT of administration has made our lives a lot easier. I mean, we used to have to write reports on carbon paper and distribute 3 copies to all different people and then collate them. And it was just incredibly tedious.
Bi-weekly or something, right?
No, the end of term reports.
And in terms of, I mean, this is a difficult question over 42 years, but when you think about trips or extracurricular, co-curricular programming that you've been involved with, do any stand out? Do you have any favourites?
I mean, I've done some wonderful theatre trips with students. I mean, I've seen one I really enjoyed. It was the Newbury Watermill, Henry V, and I took a group of students. And actually, one of them I met at an alumni event recently, and he remembered it. It was so good. And they used the whole building, and they were up on the top of the building, and we moved around with them in the outside, and it was a really inspiring production. And then when we got back to the minibus, the door had broken, the passenger seat. And there was a student who was not great academically, but he was, no problem for him. He took his belt off, strapped the door, strapped it to another part of the home, and we drove home with a broken door. I mean, I drove the minibus back from... There's been a few. I mean, I've really enjoyed, just in this last 5 years, doing nature care. And I think the students have found that very satisfying too, just having somewhere where they feel they can completely unhinge from all the sort of pressures of the world. And it's been really good.
And you're our own time here is overlapped only by a couple of years, but it strikes me you're a big advocate for local theatre, for the North Wall, for the Playhouse. And is that something that you hope to carry on enjoying post this?
Certainly, I'm certainly enjoying. I know I might even
take your trip,
get involved in some way, possibly write a play. I'm thinking,
Okay, well, we're going to come on to those questions in a second, but that's a good teaser. In terms of your accomplishments, again, we're talking a lifetime really in terms of career, so it's a hard question, but what gives you the most sense of pride, accomplishment, since you joined St Clare's?
I can't really think of individual things. I mean, I think a teacher is a prop to a student's development. And I feel incredibly satisfied when students appreciate something or understand something they didn't understand before. It's a daily satisfaction, to be honest.
So obviously there's the learning that happens in the classroom around, topics, themes, texts. And then there's the other piece of learning, which is to do with development of values or way of seeing the world, attitude, approach. Are there any values or principles that you would hope that your students carry with them, having spent time in your classroom?
I mean, I find the experience of sharing literature with students very stimulating, and I think they do too. So it's sort of through literature, I think you can make a bridge between the way things are and the way things might be. And it's not one set of values that I'm consciously spreading, maybe a bit of the sense that the world can be better and that you can do your bit in small ways to make it that way and not feel, maybe not give up, and also not fritter away your time in things that are trivial. Focus on things that are more lasting. I suppose those are values I'd like to instill.
Nice. And if you were to meet a new teacher today who's just starting their career, are there any words of wisdom that you would share, or advice that you might give?
Well, I would say the really important thing is to create a good atmosphere in the room, an atmosphere where people concentrate and listen to each other. So don't be too focused on, your screen and getting the IT to work. Really, just make sure you've got the contact with the individual, and then listen to them. Don't give them half an ear, because I think that is the most generous thing that you can do to a young person, is to feel that they matter and what they say counts and you take it seriously. So I think it's not exactly a new bit of advice, but I think that's what I've learned over the years.
And this is a side question really, but there presumably are some texts, some authors who you've taught many times over your career. Do you get bored of them, or does the text and the subject matter change every time you present it to a different group?
Well, it does change. And if I'm bored of them, I stop teaching them. And that's the great thing with the IB, is they have a lot of scope to change. Yeah. And I do new books each year. But it's nice to have some that aren't new, because you can fall back on things you've done before that have worked. Yes, I think Jane Eyre, for example, is a much more radical book than I realised when I read it myself, age 15, or when I started teaching it in my 20s. So that's been quite fun to see the ways in which the anger is hidden underneath the conventional person. There's some books. Yeah, The Great Gatsby, for example, is such a bizarrely ambivalent book that it can look different with different prisms of the students around you, seeing different things in it. I've quite enjoyed that, a new dimension to an old favourite.
Yeah. And in terms of a favourite memory, I mean, you've talked about Newbury Mill and about the student with the door and so on. Is there anything else that you often come back to in terms of moments, snippets of your time at St Clare's that are particularly warm memories for you?
I think what I just feel is the pattern of memories, which is that the students come to you anxious, nervous, worried, maybe scared and not speaking at all. And then in a few months, they become more confident. And then by the time they begin the second year, they're looking outwards to the world, more responsible, more able to feel that they count in the world. And I think that's just a pattern I see again and again. No, I wouldn't really want to say one individual. Besides, I wouldn't want to mention them by name.
And in terms of linking back to what we said about your early life and your own experience as an international child, do you think that has helped you better understand the experience of St Clare's students?
Definitely. No, definitely, yeah. And it makes me feel at home. And I think, yes, I think there are all sorts of benefits of that. But it does mean that you maybe don't identify totally with one culture. And you can, it's a great, I think at the age they are now, it's a strength because they can take things from different places.
And what do you think, again, without asking questions that are too sad, what do you think you're going to miss the most?
I'm sure I'll miss young people looking up at me and listening to what I say with interest, wanting me to explain something. I find that one has to be careful as a teacher that social interaction doesn't take that form normally.
Yeah.
People don't want you to lecture them.
Yes, I sometimes get told off for using my teacher voice.
Do you? Yeah. Can be a problem. Yeah, and so I'll miss that. I'll miss the energy of being with young people and the enthusiasm for life.
And in terms of future plans and what's happening next, is there anything exciting or new that you're looking forward to? You've just mentioned about writing. What's the plan?
Well, I don't want to say too much because it may come to nothing. But I'm looking forward to having more time to doing the things I do anyway. The things I pack in is rather excessive, really. And the sort of exercise and I'm walking and sport. And now I'm planning a trip actually in India to the Himalayas. So I did the Annapurna base camp last year and enjoyed it so much. I'm going to do something similar.
Did you? That's been on my wish list.
Oh, haven't you? You didn't know that? Oh, it's lovely.
Yes. Is it? Oh, yeah, it was lovely.
It's really lovely.
Oh, how fantastic. So that's back to India or Nepal, and then it's a bit of writing, and you're doing quite a lot of eco. Or
yes, I am, and I'm going to be a bit more of a local citizen. So I've said yes to a couple of people asking me to take roles in. So I sing in a choir, and I'm going to be on their committee, and I'm going to be on the committee of the trap grounds where the students go and work in the nature reserve. I'll try not to do too many of those boring things, but I feel I should do my duty in admin, that I've been able to use work as an excuse for a long time, that I didn't have time to do that.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to slowing down a bit. That sounds awfully lazy, but I feel I need to do that for a little bit and then see what I want to do.
And when you live somewhere as beautiful as North Oxford, slowing down is a good thing, right? I've been struck by, it's not actually a very nice day today, but late spring has been so resplendent, and actually you hurry past all of this, and it's a nice place to stop. Yep. Fab. And then finally, we're hoping that this video will reach lots of alumni and lots of people that remember you very fondly as their own teacher. Some of them will be parents that you taught in their St. Clare's who have children at the college. What would you want your kind of parting message to be, given that we're hoping this interview will have quite a wide reach?
Well, I deliberately brought in my briefcase, just in case you remembered it. It's the same one, and I bought it in Italy 43 years ago. So it's been a good... Anyway, so parting memories, parting message. I'd just like to say, find a job that brings you fulfillment, and I hope you have found a job that brings you fulfillment, and then make the most of the opportunities for joy in the world. Savor the wonderful beauty of the world and of other people.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.